You guys know what this series is all about. I don't think you need me to explain it to you, and if not, you'll figure it out pretty quickly. So first and foremost, we have some updates for Fallout Cascadia. On their Twitter account, they've been regularly posting different screenshots of things they have been working on, and as of late, that's been a lot of different world space. So we've gotten a pretty good look at some of the different locations, some of the different places we'll be able to explore, and all around, it looks really freaking good. If you guys have never heard of Fallout Cascadia somehow, what it's going to be is a DLC-sized mod for Fallout 4, bringing you to Seattle. But with that comes totally new locations, new NPCs, new factions. For example, we know for a fact the NCR are making a return. They've actually released a number of NCR mods for Fallout 4. We know very little about what the story is actually going to be. Fortunately, that's not because they aren't working on it, it's just because they haven't really shared a ton about it. But as far as the world space goes, it is obviously looking really nice. Then we get another update to the Gallants gun. This is actually one that I'm probably more excited for than almost any other work in progress mod, or at least any of the other work in progress mods releasing in the next few months, hopefully. So we get some really nice shots of the gun itself. Obviously, it has a really homemade or handmade feel to it. Looks like something you cobbled together in the apocalypse and not that was made at a big factory by a gun manufacturer. And that's honestly the main thing that makes me love this thing. In addition, it's also going to be a machine pistol. I think those are a ton of fun in Fallout 4 and really lacking. Unless you modify like a 10mm pistol, there's not too many good machine pistol options in vanilla Fallout 4, and even through mods, there's only a few good ones out there. But in addition, something really cool, this mod author actually created a little image to lay out all the things he has done already and all the things he is going to do in the future, a roadmap of this mod's progress. I think that's really cool. It really shows you what is going to come with this package when it is finally released, but in addition, where he's currently at, and you can kind of speculate how far away we are from release. Again, this is probably one of my most anticipated mods right now. I think it looks amazing, and I am very excited to get my hands on it. So we got a new one from D. Polari, that with the Protoss power armor. If you guys don't know, the Protoss are a major faction in the StarCraft franchise. I'm sure many of you guys have heard of StarCraft or StarCraft 2. They're more or less an alien race of some sort. I don't know their exact lore, but honestly, I feel like they have a similar vibe to the Dwemer. I know I just tilted some people with that. There are still major differences, but there are certain similarities there that don't exist between other factions. Either way, as you can see, he is working on some kind of new power armor based on the Protoss. It looks really freaking cool. It honestly doesn't even look that crazy in Fallout 4, like it could fit in fairly well, with the justification of course being that it's from an alien race. And it's been so long since we've had power armor mods for Fallout 4. We had a mad dash and tons of them coming out a few years ago, but ever since then, it feels like we barely get any new releases, and even beyond that, it feels like there's only like one or two being currently worked on. I'm really excited to see a new one that's a work in progress, and I'm excited to actually get to experience this, hopefully with some kind of interesting or cool backstory as to how it's in the Commonwealth. Then we got some more updates to the 65 Series Redux. I haven't shown you anything from this in quite a while. But from these first set of images, what your takeaway should be is the actual overall look of the gun, as well as some of the different attachments that you do see on it. And it does look pretty cool. I actually like some of the different color customizations. I feel like this just actually has a really nice aesthetic going on with it. And we also get a nice little GIF to actually show us some of these different attachments and how different it will actually make this gun look. But the reason I kind of told you to focus largely on the attachments is because there actually is kind of a fundamental redesign of the model of this gun. The mod author went back and modified a lot of things, and although these are still a work in progress, what this means is it should only be higher quality on release. Even though it obviously pushes the release date back a bit, it will be a higher quality product, and I think there's very few people that will be disappointed in that. So this one looks really cool. More or less what it's going to be is a recreation of the old school Vault Dweller that you saw in some of the early Fallout games and the aesthetic that guy had going on. Bring some of those items into Fallout 4 as accessories. This is something that some other mods attempt to accomplish, but the one with this vault suit, this whole aesthetic they have going on, I think is really cool. It looks way more realistic than just running around in a pristine Vault 13 vault suit, because honestly that doesn't really make a ton of sense. But for those of you who really want to stay true to your character and people that even want to roleplay, the vault suit with all these different attachments on it I think looks really cool, and it makes a lot of sense in Fallout 4. Either way, I'm quite excited to see more. I really like the design here, and it's something I would personally use on my character. So then last but not least, we don't actually have any images, but just some updates on the Fallout New California situation. If you guys didn't watch my video on this topic, more or less Fallout New California is a work in progress mod for Fallout New Vegas. I cover it pretty regularly. But over the past week, the Fallout board game, yeah, that's a thing, actually got an expansion called literally Fallout New California. The Fallout board game is of course officially licensed by Bethesda, and the Fallout New California mod may now be in jeopardy because they technically are in the wrong by using the name. They could very easily get a cease and desist order, and that is totally legal. And so the many people messaging me after I made that video about fair use or how it would be okay, no, it wouldn't. That's not how fair use works, and even if they wanted to use fair use, they would have to go to court. It's only a legal defense, it's not a law. Either way, when I covered it the first time, it seemed like they were more in the kind of freak out stage of the immediate aftermath of that game getting announced and what they were going to do. Now, we've definitely gotten a lot more clarity from their Facebook page, which I will have linked down below. I encourage you guys to follow it or however that works on Facebook. What the mod author details in this is that the New California name is really central to the mod. It's part of its identity and it's just core to the experience. And it's largely for that reason as to why he doesn't want to change it, but he is still trying to get it released as quickly as possible. When is that new release date? Well, the mod author says that it's going to take about 3 weeks to actually wrap up a lot of the loose ends that he has to before an official release. But that after those 3 weeks, it'll probably just be on a random day uploaded to Nexus and ModDB for us to download and hopefully enjoy. Now, to be clear, what this is going to be, or at least what they're calling it, is a public beta, a way for us to actually get out some of the bugs while they continue development on the other aspects of the mod. If you guys don't know, basically the deal with Fallout New California, the main story is largely complete, but what they wanted to do before release and why the release is set for October is add a bunch of side quests, so it feels more like a proper Fallout game, because Fallout games don't just have a main story, they have a main story and side quests. So the official release date of the final version is in October, but the official release date of this public beta or public testing version is in 3+ weeks. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. As always, I thank you all again for watching, but before we end things off, a super lightweight psych fun fact, a clarification I want to make because I see some kind of confusion around this category. What is a psychologist? A lot of people see psychologists and they think, oh, that's like one of those doctors you talk to about your feelings. Well, yes, but no, that's not it. There are a wide variety of psychologists, and those could be people with PhDs, with PsyDs, or even with masters. The psychologist title doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a type of person that talks to you about their feelings. For example, the type of psychology I want to go into is business related and consumer related, focused around decision making and preference, compared to a clinical psychologist, which that is the type of person that you talk to about your feelings. They obviously aren't going to know much about consumer behavior. Now, the difference between a clinical psychologist and a psychiatrist is a psychiatrist actually is more of an MD, like a doctor. What a psychiatrist can do is actually prescribe medication to you. They have normally a bit more schooling and sometimes will make more money. A psychologist cannot prescribe medicine to you. They typically just employ psychotherapy, which is effectively just some of the different methods of therapy in psychology, and depending on the quality of your psychiatrist, they will typically do a mix of prescribing medicine and psychotherapy. A psychologist can't prescribe medicine. And even beyond that, there are a ton of different types of psychologists. You could be a clinical psychologist, a scientist, kind of just doing research. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. Hopefully you guys had that cleared up a little bit. I know it can be actually pretty confusing as to what these different titles mean, but as always, again, I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.
Boycott with my own boycott, and I'm going to preemptively announce I'm boycotting anyone who boycotts my boycott. Boycott everyone, shirt and or hoodie.